Hello everyone, welcome back to your online classes. Children, I'm sure you must have enjoyed your summer holidays with your near and dear ones. I'm very happy to see that few of the students who were not able to do their assignments because of reasons like book not available or so have finally done so. There are many students who have completed all their 8 assignments and have submitted them. So a big round of applause for those students who have completed all their assignments. Okay. Now children, before continuing with the syllabus, let me tell you few things about your upcoming first term exams. First thing, your first term exam will be an offline exam. In other words, it will be a written exam like we had last year. We had our half yearly and our final exams. The same way we'll be having our first term exams. Okay, it will be a written exam. You will be getting answer sheets from the school in which you'll have to attempt your question paper. Okay. Second thing, the written exam will be of 40 marks. Okay, and the paper will be based on whatever topics we have covered or will be covering in the next 2 videos. Okay, so all in all, your syllabus will be based on the 10 assignments that you will be doing before the starting of the first term exam. Okay, that was about the written exam. Now the home assignments that you are doing, the homework which we are doing, that homework will be scored out of 20. Okay, so if you remember, last time also the assignments were scored. Okay, this time also the assignments are scored. So you have 10 assignments. Okay, so you can calculate that each assignment will be of 2 marks. So if you have done all 8 assignments completely, correctly, neatly, then you will be getting the complete 20 marks. Okay. Your written exam will be starting from most probably by 26th of July. Okay. And your 10th exam, your 10th assignment will be over by the 17th of July. Okay, that means this week and this week you will be getting your 9th assignment, and next week you will be getting your 10th assignment. Okay, so all these assignments from 1 to 10 will be scored 2 marks for each assignment. Okay, so if in case in any subject you have left an assignment, make sure to complete that assignment and send it. One more thing, children, you must remember, if you are sending an incomplete assignment, you cannot expect full marks for that assignment. You'll be getting your answer sheet from the school, which you will be asked to collect on a particular day. You will be informed about it in your WhatsApp, school WhatsApp group. Okay, so make sure that the number which you are using, okay, the same number is registered in your current diary. Otherwise the problem arises that a message has been sent, but because that number is the one which is used by your father or your mother, you do not come to know about it. So make sure that the number which you are using or which is registered in current diary is the same number through which you have been added in your school WhatsApp group. Okay, so that was the information regarding your first term exam. And now let us continue with our syllabus. Okay, so we'll be like I told you, I'll be starting with the English literature, but before doing that, let me tell you the answers of the 8th assignment, that is the language portion. which you were given to do. The purpose of me telling you the answers of the previous assignment is that in case you have done any mistake, you can correct them, or if you were unable to do it because you were not able to understand, or because there was nobody to help you out with your homework, then you can listen to these videos and complete your assignment. Okay, so let us start with the answers of the 8th assignment. Children, your 8th assignment was from language, and you were asked to do all the exercises of chapter 2, nouns. Okay, so let's check your answers. You need to cross check your answers with mine. In case there will be any mistake, you need to correct it. Okay, from page number 12, the first exercise was fill in the blanks by identifying the nouns in the following sentences. There are 5 sentences given on page number 12, the first exercise, and you had to underline the nouns in each sentence, and you also had to mention the type of the noun. Okay, so remember, whenever there is such kind of a question, a sentence may have more than one noun. So in that case, you have to underline all the nouns which are there in the sentence. Okay, so let us see the answers. Number 1, Kiran is standing under a tree. There are 2 nouns here, Kiran proper noun and tree common noun. Number 2, London is the capital of England. There are again 2 nouns, London and England, both are proper noun. Number 3, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Apple and doctor, both are common noun. Number 4, a tractor can plow land fast. The common noun is tractor. Number 5, the cat is sitting under the sofa. There are 2 common nouns here, cat and sofa. Okay, the same page, a new exercise is also starting, and in which you were asked to pick out proper nouns and common nouns in the sentences. Okay, so the first one is London is a big city. London is proper noun and city is common noun. Number 2, page number 13, number 2, I met Monish in Lucknow. Monish is proper noun and Lucknow is also proper noun. Number 3, Rajneesh was sitting in the chair. Rajneesh is proper noun and chair is common noun. Number 4, the Ganga is a long river. The Ganga is proper noun and river is common noun. This building was constructed by my father. Here, building and father both are common nouns. Okay. The next exercise on page number 13 was pick out the collective nouns in the following sentences. Number 1, the team was selected by the selection committee. So the collective noun is team. Okay. Number 2, we saw a pack of wolves running after a deer. Collective noun is pack. Number 3, the government has announced a new tax. You have to make a correction. Here the government have is written, you have to change it into has. Okay, the government has announced a new tax. So the collective noun is government. Number 4, the police was trying to solve the murder mystery. The collective noun in this sentence is police. Number 5, there is a bunch of keys lying on the table. So the collective noun is bunch. Okay, now page number 14, exercise B was fill in the blanks with the collective nouns by combining the words given in box A with box B. Box A and box B you had to match and you had to form a collective noun. The first one is a team of players, a bunch of flowers, a herd of cattle, a shoal of fish, a crowd of people, a library of books, a litter of puppies, a flock of sheep, SHEEP, okay, a pack of cards, a fleet of ships or a fleet of cars, a glass of water, a cup of tea, a piece of paper, and a bar of chocolate. Okay, the same kind of exercise was also given on page number 15, wherein you were asked to complete the blanks by using the countable nouns with the material nouns. That means you had to match that which countable noun is made up of which material. Okay, so let's see the answer. That answer is to be written on page number 15. The first one is a ball. A ball is made up of, what would the material used for a ball? Rubber. Okay. Second one is a log is of wood. Number 3, a bar of brass. A sheet of iron or a sheet of tin. Number 5, a kilo of meat. Number 6, a bottle of milk. You can also write a bottle of plastic, okay, because a bottle can be made of plastic also. Next is a packet of salt, 20 grams of cocoa, 3 bags of cement, a roll of cotton, or you can also say a roll of wool, okay, 2 tins of silver, or you can also say 2 tins of plastic. Then is a statue of gold, that is the statue is made up of gold, 10 tablets of calcium, a truck of sand, and a sheet of plastic, okay. Same exercise, same page, another exercise was that you had to identify the abstract nouns in the following sentences, okay. That is page number 15, second exercise. The first sentence is, his health has been improving, abstract noun is health. Rakesh was proud of his friendship with Mridula, abstract noun is friendship. The soldiers fought the war with courage, abstract noun is courage. I need your help to finish the job, abstract noun is help. The traveler was suffering from hunger and thirst. Here there are 2 abstract nouns, hunger and thirst. Honesty always makes you face any danger with courage. Here also there are 2 abstract nouns, honesty and courage. Now next is Mary suffer from anxiety, abstract noun is anxiety. I always follow my father's advice, abstract noun is advice. Bravery is a rare thing these days, abstract noun is bravery. And Akbar had knowledge of different religions, abstract noun is knowledge, okay. Now let's come to page number 16. Page number 16, there are 2 exercises. First exercise is a match the column, wherein you were asked to match concrete noun with abstract noun, okay. Concrete noun is something which you can see, touch and feel, and abstract noun is which you can only feel or feel, okay. So let's see. First one is orange. Orange is known for its sourness, okay. Sugar is known for its sweetness, okay. And joker is, when you talk about joker, the thing that comes into mind is laughter, because he makes people laugh. Wood stands for hardness. Soldier always represents bravery. Book is meant to study. Flowers always produce fragrance. Fragrance you can smell but you cannot see. Ladies are always beautiful. Rubber is, it has elasticity. And stove, okay, here you have to make a correction. The answer of stove is heat, and here in the book misprint is there, so the spelling of heat will be H-E-A-T, okay. So you have to convert L into T, okay. And the last exercise of this chapter was that you were asked to form abstract nouns from the words given, okay. So the answers of the words are, how to form abstract noun is that you can add different words after a word to form abstract noun. So the first one is blind. From blind you can have abstract noun blindness, okay. Clear is clarity. Move, from move you can make the abstract noun movement. The abstract noun of strong, from strong is strength. Kind, kindness. Slave, slavery. Marry, marriage, okay. When you write marriage it will be M-A-R-R-I-A-G-E. And king, kingdom, okay. So these were the answers of your 8th assignment. In case there is any mistake, please correct them. And now we'll be starting with your English literature, wherein I'll be teaching you a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Saviors of the Train, that is chapter number 3, okay. For that you have to open page number 38 of your English literature book, right. The chapter Saviors of the Train is written by Edith Nesbit. It is a story about 3 children, Roberta, Peter and Phyllis. Roberta is the eldest one and is also nicknamed Bobby, okay. And Phyllis is the youngest one, Okay, so once they were out picking up cherry blossoms when they heard a loud noise, and when they looked toward the direction from where the noise was coming, they saw a landslide happening in front of them, and they saw that the whole debris was falling onto a railway track. So they got worried about the safety of the passengers of the train that was about to pass through that area. So how they saved those people, how they saved the people or the passengers of the train from the accident, the story is all about that. Okay, so let us begin with the reading of the chapter. And remember, when I'm reading from the book, you have to look into the book, and when I'm explaining to you, that time you have to look into the video to understand what has been explained. Okay. The children were almost at the little swing gate at the top of the flight of steps when Bobby said, "Hush, stop, what's that?" Okay, the children were out picking up cherry blossoms, and as they were picking cherry blossoms, they reached a place where there were a flight of steps leading down towards the railway line. Okay, so the children were almost at the swing gate, which was at the top of the flight, when suddenly Bobby heard something, and her first reaction was asking her siblings to stop. And then she said that, "What's that?" She was talking about the sound that she heard. That was a very odd noise indeed, a soft noise, but quite plainly to be heard through the sound of the wind in tree branches. It was a sort of rustling, whispering sound. As they listened, it stopped, and then it began again. The sound that Bobby heard was a very odd sound. It was a very soft sound. It was not very loud, but it was loud enough that they were able to hear that sound as the wind blew. Okay, and it was a very sort of a rustling sound. Rustling means when you walk on dry leaves. Okay, when the dry leaves move, they produce a sound. That's called a rustling sound. So the sound that Bobby heard was an odd noise, a soft noise. It was a kind of a rustling sound, and then suddenly there was no sound at all. It just stopped. But then after some time, the same sound started again. She was again able to hear that same soft rustling sound. And this time it did not stop, but it grew louder, and there was more rustling and rumbling. "Look," cried Peter suddenly, "the tree over there." Okay. The sound that Bobby heard started again, but this time it was not a whispering sound. It started become little louder. It was sort of a rustling, but at the same time rumbling sound. Rumbling sound is, you must have seen a truckload of stones, and when the truck starts dumping those stones, the huge stones, it produces a very loud noise. So that loud noise of stones falling off the dumper is called a rumbling sound. Okay, so the sound that Bobby heard initially started as a very soft and whispering sound, but slowly it grew into the loudness of that sound grew, and it turned into a rumbling sound. And then suddenly Peter cried and pointed towards the direction from where the sound was coming, and he pointed at a tree, and asked his siblings also to look towards that direction. The tree he pointed at was one of those that have rough grey leaves and white flowers. And as Peter pointed, the tree was moving, not just the way trees ought to move when the wind blows through them, but all in one piece, as though it were a live creature, and were walking down the side of the cutting. The tree Peter pointed at had rough grey leaves. The flowers of the tree were white, and all three children saw that the tree was moving and it was not swaying. Swaying is like when the wind blows, the trees sway like this. Okay, but what they saw was that it was not swaying, it was actually moving in the sense that it was changing its place. Okay, so, and it was moving in one piece as if it was a live creature. Like we move, when we move, we change our place. Okay, one time we are here, as we move, we start changing our place. Okay, the same way with the tree that Peter pointed at was also moving. It was not swaying, but it was shifting forward, or you can say it was shifting downward, and it appeared that it was giving that impression that it is a live creature, and it was walking down the cutting. Okay, the cutting here means stand for the passage that was cut to allow trains to pass through that area. Okay, so in order to lay railway track, people must have blasted a few portion of the rock. Okay, so the tree was moving down the slope of the rock. "It's moving," cried Bobby. "Oh, look, and so are the others." "It's magic," said Phyllis breathlessly. "I always knew this railway was enchanted." And then Bobby also joined in, and she said that, "See, it's not only one tree, other trees are also moving." And looking at the movement of the trees, so many trees down the hill, down the slope of the cutting, Phyllis was quite, enchanted. He was quite amazed. So he automatically says that it looks like magic, and he always knew that the railway line was enchanted, that it had magical powers.